Sean Hannity decided to go after him as well. I've gone after him a lot, but Sean Hannity decided to go after him too. So we're going to discuss that. This is Sean Hannity on Fox News. California is a train wreck. Sean Hannity is kind of going after him, right? He's probably going to say the same thing that I did. I haven't watched this before. Let's figure out what's going on. Anyway, this is Fox News on YouTube. Subscribe to them. They'll be linked in my description. While you're there, subscribe to me. Okay, let's go.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, he has been on a roll. He'll be with us Monday night. Oh, I'm sure it's going to go viral. Anyway, with his thoughts on, of course, full-time Trump stalker, Tweety Bird, and podcaster Gavin Newsom and his obsession with knee pads and.
I get it, Sean. I click my pen a lot too. I don't know if anybody in like the chat can hear it, but I definitely click my pen a lot, especially when I'm taking notes.
President Trump, take a look.
I think Gavin Newsom may be cracking up with some of these things he's saying. I think he may be in over his hairdo, and
you mean maybe in over his hairdo? No, dude definitely spends a lot of money on hair care products. You know what I mean? Like what makes a man reach out and touch?
Being on the national stage is very different than
ultra clutch.
Being governor of California, with no signature achievements. But to say...
No, the signature achievement was that he had a wildfire, which was totally predictable because it happens a lot in New York, in California, and there were no water in the fire hydrants. So that was pretty cool. That was a fucking awesome signature achievement. Oh, and now he's pretending to, or he's trying to mimic Trump and go after Trump at the same time. And it really isn't working, especially because most of the things he does are illegal.
It's like President Trump is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Under him, the California tax system has become more progressive than ever, literally taxing you more based on the amount of money that you make. And if you make more than $1 million a year, they will charge you a 1% charge, like a 1% surcharge on all mental health related bills, right? So like if you are somebody that makes a lot of money, which let's be realistic, in order to live in California, you're going to have to make somewhere around $1 million a year. If you make $1 million a year, and you are, let's say, a psycho that would maybe do the wrong thing and be corrupt in the U.S. government, you can't even go and get medical health, because if you go and get like your mental health checked out, they're going to charge you an additional charge for that just because you make too much money. You're rich. You shouldn't have to go and get mental health like procedures and like consultations and shit done.
What the hell does that mean? I could say Gavin Newsom is a brontosaurus.
Also, 30% of the people that graduate in California are functionally illiterate, and half of the immigrants there don't speak English, because why the fuck would they? And also, there was an awful lot of truckers that were getting their license in California that didn't speak English, which I think is a problem, because every single road sign is in English.
With a brain the size of a walnut. And
like, believe me, I work in construction. I can tell you that a lot of these truckers do not speak English. Not one fucking bit. They turn on their GPS speaks whatever language they do, and then they ride out for it. Which is fucking crazy, because they don't understand the rules of the road. Like, at all. They just do it.
If you brought the knee pads, maybe that was for his meeting with Alex Soros. I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
I honestly can't wait for Scott Bessent to be on Monday. Now, of course, Bessent is referring to the far-left Democratic mega donor Alex Soros, George Soros' son.
Yeah, so he's probably going to continue his dad's legacy of trying to destroy America.
Who seems to have unfettered...
Pretty sure that George Soros was also an actual Nazi, or his dad was, and he like helped him out or something. There's a story there.
Access to every major Democrat around the country, and with that, the control that you would imagine, including, of course, Gavin Newsom, seen here smiling ear to ear with this great, rich Democratic donor of 1%. In addition to comparing Newsom's brain to the size of a walnut, Bessent also compared the governor to, well, American psycho Patrick Bateman and Sparkle Ken Barbie. In other words, Bessent is calling Newsom both unhinged, brainless, and I'll add to that soulless and completely incompetent, an empty suit with raw ambition, and along with his career as a full-time podcaster, Tweety Bird, psycho Trump stalker, and now world traveler, including Europe and everything, and even China, where he awkwardly tackled and then spanked, look, a young man during a pickup basketball game. Very nice of him.
Okay, that was really weird. That was really weird. If Trump had done that, that would be all over every news station all the time. Trump grabs kids' ass. Gavin Newsom decides to tackle a random child and start spanking him. What the fuck, dude?
Anyway, has also been measuring the
A random kid in China, by the way.
drapes at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for quite some time. Unfortunately, in his quest for fame and power, Newsom...
That didn't even look like he fell. That one looked like he fell. That one didn't look like he tackled him. But that did not look like the thing that was in the beginning.
Forgot to show up for his day job as California's governor. Remember, Gavin, you were elected to that job. Or maybe...
Yeah, no, he has to go down to the Amazon and see people that are there. He has to go over to China and hang out with them. He has to go up to Canada and talk to them because, see, he's trying his best to campaign for presidency in 2028. Now, he doesn't realize that J.D. Vance has already locked that seat down. So the question is whether or not he's going to be the president or the VP on the Democratic ticket, and whether or not AOC is going to be the president or the VP. I'm just saying. Like, you know this, Hannity, I know, but this is for the audience. This is for the people that don't pay attention like we do.
Maybe he just doesn't have what it takes to be an effective leader, so he gave up. California is an absolute train wreck. Politico just described the budget.
No way, dude. I did a couple episodes on California, or a couple of videos on California rather. Whenever I first started out this channel. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the quality of those videos are any good, because they really are not, and I've learned an awful lot, and maybe I need to make some new videos on California. I've been going hard on Minnesota a lot recently, but look, there's a lot of good content there. I'm just saying. Anyway, so yeah, no, California is definitely a shithole, and it's all directly because of Gavin Newsom. It used to be awesome. It used to be a manufacturing powerhouse, and now it's just like a liberal shithole.
Budget is a nightmare. Meanwhile, entire neighborhoods in Los Angeles burned to the ground. People can't get a permit to rebuild their homes. Why?
Yeah.
Because he's a climate change lunatic that doesn't believe in the science of forestry, didn't have the good common sense to ensure.
Yeah, I don't understand the left's like they are dead set against not going out and cleaning up the underbrush in your forests. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Why the fuck wouldn't you do that?
Sure, the fire hydrants and reservoirs actually had water for what.
That's really the more important thing. Like, let's just make sure we at least have access to water in case we need it in case of emergencies, right? Like, we're not fuck that fish. Okay?
Predictable California wildfires and Santa Ana winds. Now, few have been able to even start rebuilding because of state and local government regulations. Gavin hasn't lifted a finger. At the same time, city streets are totally, completely lawless, riddled with open-air drug markets, homeless encampments, and who...
See, this is what California normally looks like. They only ever cleaned it up whenever Xi Jinping showed up because he had to impress his overlord.
Could forget, California also home to a human waste problem, unlike any other state. Take a look.
This is a map of San Francisco. There's a lot.
I love this map. I love this map. This was DeSantis on stage, like, debating against him. It was pretty crazy because that's the map of human feces in San Francisco. Like, it literally tracks human shit on the streets.
A lot of plots on that. You may be asking, what is that plotting? Well, this is an app where they plot the human feces that are found on the streets of San Francisco. And you see how almost the whole thing is covered.
I'm not sure why Gavin Newsom is laughing about that.
Because that is what has happened in one of the previous greatest cities this country's ever had. Human feces is now a fact of life, except when a communist dictator comes to town. Then they cleaned up the street.
Dude, yes, that's what I'm talking about, man. Oh, yes. Me and the entire Republican Party sharing one fucking brain cell. I'm telling you, man.
They line.
Definitely subscribe. I am right about everything.
The street.
No, this is an old thing. This is like how this is a long time ago. This was the fucking Hannity debate that they did back in 2023 when Biden was still president. Anyway.
Streets with Chinese flags. They didn't put American flags there. They cleaned everything up. So they're willing to do it for a communist dictator, but they're not willing to do it for their own people.
Which is fair. I showed you that video. I'm just saying. I've showed you that. They can clean it up. They have the ability to clean it up. They just choose not to because who are they impressing, right? They don't have anybody to impress unless Xi Jinping, the communist dictator of China, shows up.
All right, needless to say, businesses and people are leaving in droves. #1 migration state in the country. It's so bad that California lost a congressional seat for the first time ever. But it's not just Newsom's human waste crisis. California taxes are insane. For perspective, here is California's top income tax rate. That's at 13%. Right here, my free state of Florida, it's 0. Even the medium tax rate is super high at 6%, which is twice as high as most states. But that's not all. California also has a higher sales tax, the highest gas tax in the country.
Yes, absolutely. I covered this just a minute ago. I've covered this in videos recently, or not recently, but like in videos in the past on my channel. Definitely subscribe to me. Definitely just check out the I don't know if I made a playlist about it yet. There's a playlist for Minnesota. I don't know if I made one for California. Anyway, just scroll through the videos and you'll find it. It's like I do a whole deep dive into California, like crazy bullshit.
And the corporate income tax is almost double. California takes in more tax revenue by far than any other state in the country, and it's not even close. So where's all the money going? Why do they have these multi-billion-dollar deficits year in and year out under Gavin? Well, the answer, social services for illegal immigrants, because the same...
Yeah, Medi-Cali provides health care to illegal immigrants that are staying in California. On the dime of the California taxpayer. Just throwing that out there. So, you know, whenever they say that illegal immigrants do not benefit from taxpayer-funded services, they're just lying.
Sanctuary state of California spends nearly $31 billion a year to feed and clothe and house and educate and provide health care, taxpayer-funded, to California's massive population of illegal immigrants.
Yep, and 30% of the people that graduate high school are functionally illiterate.
But now, after bankrupting his state, driving Americans away from one of the most beautiful places on earth. I lived in California for 5 years in the 80s.
Yeah, no, it was fucking terrible. Like, California used to be an awesome place to live. California used to be a powerhouse. California used to be the greatest state in the country. California used to be like the golden state, right? Like, it's literally where people would pack up their families and march across the United States to try and make it to California in the promise of like finding gold and finding better jobs with the manufacturing plants that were out there, because there was a huge port that was built. They were like drawing materials. They were building giant cities. There was a lot of shit going on in California, and it really was the promise of like the manifest destiny that was going out to California. That's what that whole thing really was about. Like, so the fact that Gavin Newsom and Democrats previous have turned it into a literal shithole, because there's literal shit everywhere on the streets except when a communist dictator shows up, really tells you everything that you need to know. And the fact that he is really most likely going to be on the Democratic nominee for president in 2028 is fucking wild to me, because he's the one that has the most political clout. And if he has the most political clout in their party, what the fuck does that tell you about the base, like the Democratic base of this party? This is fucking insane, man. Alright, anyway, all of my links will be linked in the description below. So yeah, just follow and like and all that, and on Wednesday we're going to be doing some fun stuff, because I don't really intend to talk about politics on Wednesday. So definitely join me on Kick for those streams. That would be awesome. Alright, see you later, guys. Bye.